I'm going to read My Immune System Needs Glasses today. This is by Michelle Nell. Thank you very much, Michelle, for giving me permission to read this. There aren't too many words that are quite as long as this. The one of which I'm speaking is called anaphylaxis, an immune system response that creates my allergies. It's when my antibodies mistake proteins for disease. Antibodies should defend us, but mine somehow don't work right, and I recently discovered why with good proteins they fight. This system to protect me cannot differentiate between what's good and bad, and voila, allergies create. I've discovered why this happens, and this is no hocus pocus. I'll give you a quick hint now. My immune system can't focus. Have you ever had a question, a problem, or concern that leaves you feeling dizzy as the wheels in your head churn? And should you try ignore it when awake or if asleep, somehow into your conscious, all these thoughts still tend to creep. Well, lately I've been thinking, what's so different about me? Why did my brother just got freckles? Why did I get allergies? The answer to my question, well, I never would have guessed, but what surprised me most would be my unexpected guest. I'd describe it as annoying, the loud noise that woke me up, like the gurgling sound a straw makes in an almost empty cup. It was then I saw Lucille, who was laughing that I snore. With a start I fell from bed, and with a thud I hit the floor. She wore a teal chapeau. Her shirt said, "I love H2O." My mouth it hung wide open as she shook my hand, "Hello." She winked and then used her straw to blow a giant water bubble. If I should drink like that, boy, would I ever be in trouble. I asked was she aware it was barely 2 o'clock, and before just barging in, it was more polite to knock. Her reply, had I been taught, it was impolite to stare. I told her we were even. She had made a good point there. Lucille had come on business from a planet known as Slurple. Now, that did not surprise me. She slurped, burped, and was purple. She'd been sent from AUQ, so I asked her what that meant. It's where all unanswered questions in the universe are sent. All unanswered questions go to Slurple in a file, and luckily for me, mine was the first one on her pile. I could see my name was printed on the folder in her hand. Of my allergic quandary, she'd now help me understand. Lucille then sat and read from a huge, enormous book called All the Simple Answers Humans Tend to Overlook. The answer to my question, Lucille gave me a quick hint. In order to see clearly, my immune system must squint. My body's immune system has an army that protects me from all unknown invaders and all danger it detects. They're called my antibodies, and they never stand at ease, for they're always on the lookout for a virus or disease. What's supposed to keep me safe is this first line of defense, but sometimes with my army their decisions don't make sense. My antibodies, aka immunoglobulin IgE, can't seem to see the difference in what's good or bad for me. My antibody army gives all guests a clearance tag, but sometimes a good protein they mark bad with a red flag. Once deemed as an intruder, an IgE is then assigned to ensure this protein's entries are unequivocally denied. This antibody IgE teams up with the mast cells, a special forces unit trained to ring the warning bells. That something has gone wrong, the protein never has a clue, until the next time it shows up and mass hysteria ensues. It's during the first exposure to an allergen that the IgE antibody is produced. The mast cells, having become sensitized to this IgE, now lay in wait for a second exposure. Upon contact with this allergen a second time, histamine is released, which results in the various symptoms of an allergic reaction. Once alarms are activated, my immune system attacks. The IgE and mast cells try to push the protein back, but the protein has no chance, for it knows who's coming next. The mast cells have a buddy, and when woken, he is vexed. His name is histamine, and he's a meanie and a grouch, and unless there's an intruder, he just lays there on the couch. Once his nap is interrupted, histamine has quite a wrath. His fury is now directed at the protein in his path. It's the pushing and the shoving, and from histamine a scare that creates allergic symptoms and makes reactions flare. I asked her why this happened. Lucille said, "Please don't interrupt," and before she could continue, she drank quickly, then hiccuped. The conclusion she had reached, my immune system can't see. That's why clearance is denied to proteins that are good for me. My immune system needs glasses to help end this silly feud. Once its vision's 20/20, it won't try to fight good food. But where to find these glasses? For the final page was blank. The report was incomplete. My heart fell. Then it sank. Lucille said not to worry. She'd been given a new mission. Her assignment was to find for me an allergy optician. She said that she must go now, but first may she fill her drink? I told her to be quiet and please tiptoe to the sink. Of course she came back slurping. I said, "Don't wake my parents." "Hush!" She asked why did our sink say, "Please do not forget to flush." Lucille made me a promise that she'd search the galaxy to find the perfect glasses so my immune system can see. We hugged and said goodbye. I told her go, but please don't hurry. The glasses would be great, but they're not life's biggest worry. I know how to keep safe, so I told her I'll be fine. My allergies are what I have, my life they don't define. Then somehow out of nowhere there appeared a little pod. The best way to describe it was a souped-up space hot rod. Lucille handed me her cup after sucking the last sip. I told her that I'll miss her and to please have a safe trip. You know what's kind of funny? I now get myself a drink if I'm ever feeling puzzled. Slurping really helps me think. My mom and dad both say it was a dream, it wasn't real. But I know they'd be believers if they ever met Lucille. So if you have a question, try to think outside the box. Or someone might come calling who burps, slurps, and never knocks. The end.